welcome everybody to the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show. We're at week 2. The NFL Weekly Pick'em Show is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie has been in business for years, and their reputation is rock solid. They do 100% cash bonuses, so right off the bat, you're making money for doing nothing. And they have the fastest payout, seriously, just 2 business days. You know who's going to win, right? Lay down some cash and win big today. Make sure you go check out MyBookie.ag. I know Oz has been playing on MyBookie.ag. What's your opinion of it, Oz?
MyBookie.ag is really great. Customer service is great. High marks for that, definitely. And you know, I've been in the gambling affiliate marketing business for a while, and I can tell you that 2 business days turnaround at a sports book is outstanding. Really, honestly, to take advantage of. It's a great sports book.
All right, let's go ahead and look at last week. The big winner, of course, was Brian Schmidt, who was 13-2. Everybody, a little applause for Brian. Then we had Oz Davis, 11-5. Me and Matt Andruscavage, of course, are tied as always at 10-5 or 10-6. Or no, 10-5 would be right.
No,
so Oz
10-5.
was 11-4.
One game.
Oz was 11-4 then, huh?
Yeah, Oz was 11-4. We were 10-5. Okay. So Mark Cooper can't make it tonight. Last week he was last place. He was 8-7. Wow. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get everybody's takes on week 1. And since he was the winner for week 1, Brian Schmidt, we'll let you go first.
You know, I wish I could sit here and talk about the really good football that I watched, but I got to tell you that the football in the NFL is just deteriorates year after year, and it was hard watching some of these games. Not only just to play on the field, but I mean, are they ever going to fix the officiating in the NFL? Because it'd be great if they could somehow figure out a way to fix that. Because damn, it's rough to watch. And oh, by the way, Monday night the announce team of Rex Ryan and Beth Moen and whoever the god that sideline reporter was, that needs to never happen ever and again in the history of football.
All right.
Oh, by the way, I went 15-2 or whatever.
No, you went 13-2. There was only 15 games, Brian.
I was going for 15-0, but that's all right.
Well, and you failed then, so you are the big loser. All right, Oz, you came in second. What was your big takeaway?
I don't want to say that all the football was bad. I mean, the football that was played by the Vikings and the Raiders was very good. I was impressed with them. They were the 2 teams ready to play in week 1. Otherwise, I just wanted to say this. The Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams are currently undisputed leaders of their divisions, which is the first time we can say that since about 1852.
All right, Matt. I know your 49ers did well again. They scored 3 points, which was more than my team did.
Yeah,
but you gave up
true.
3 more points than my team did. So
that's true. I mean, it was painful, but you know, Brian really took both of the things I wanted to say. I thought
he did mine
overall,
too. I guess we shouldn't have let him win.
Football, yeah, that's not good because now we just look like we're copying. It's not good. But no, he's right on about this. The quality of the games were overall just not very good, and the officiating was terrible. And I fell asleep trying to watch a little bit of that Charger-Bronco game, and that announcing duel was just awful, and the sideline was just awful. I hope we never see that again.
Yeah, but you can't really say anything bad about it because you got to be politically correct, and there was a woman and a transgendered male on there, so.
Well, transgender male. What is that?
I can still have my wish of never. I really never hope I see that again. No. People are free to do what they wish, but I don't have to like it.
Yeah, well, some people are excited because a woman was on there, but.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going to do it, at least have one that's decent on there.
Yeah, I don't care if it's a woman or whatever. I just thought she just had a really annoying voice.
Well, my takeaway was this. The football was crap. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and it's obvious that Marvin Lewis has his head so far up his ass he can't do anything anyways. Cedric Ogbuehi was a joke. The entire offensive line was a joke. Paul Alexander, who looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, should be fired. Other than that, though, it was a really nice week. I mean, I really had a hard time watching the football. Because, as Brian said, it was just bad. I mean, how many games were there where teams didn't even break double digits?
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Indianapolis Colts, I mean, my God. If there was a relegation round, they would have to go to Division III college football after the game they played. Because they were just god-awful. I mean, it's one thing if you show up and lose 46-9 to, like, the Steelers or the Patriots or the Chiefs, but to lose the Rams. And then if you look at Seattle, same problem as the Bengals, no offensive line, so is there a chance, Oz, that the Rams could win that division at 5-11?
Well, okay, we don't need to panic. Remember last year that the first two games the Seahawks scored 12-9. And they went 1-1 in those games.
Yeah, but this offensive line's even worse than last year's offensive line.
Right. That's the thing. That's true. But here's the other thing on the plus side. Look, the defense pitched a shutout in the first half, and the truth is that there were really only two drives right in a row towards the end of the third quarter that were successful at all for the Packers, and it was because the defense was gassed. That's perhaps one of the best defenses in the NFL still. If they can get that line working, that team's still a threat. Why not?
Well, in that division, they're a threat. They're going to win the division no matter how bad their line is, probably. But let's go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Arizona.
Let's go ahead and start off. Of course, we always start with the Thursday night game because it's the game of the week. Yeah, probably the finest football franchise God ever created, the Cincinnati Bengals, hosting the Houston Texans. Schmidt, we'll let you go first.
I'm gonna. After what I saw with Houston, this is bad, but I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they can get the ship righted. I was not impressed with Houston at all. Defensively, I think Houston will be fine, but how quickly they turn the quarterbacking over to Watson and how quickly he can adjust. He's
going to start this week.
Yeah, but how quickly will he adjust to NFL defenses that quick? That's the big question, and I think he'll be fine as it goes. But I think it's going to take him a couple weeks, and I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. But this is a hard one to pick because you can go both ways and probably feel pretty secure. So whatever odds.
I don't think you can go either way and feel secure.
Well, they're both pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, the Bengals' offensive line's terrible, and their coaching is about like a third-grade Pee-wee team. Matt?
Yeah, I'm pretty much feeling the same way. I think you can make an argument for both teams. I probably would give the Texans an edge here, but I just don't like the rookie quarterback in this situation. I'm going to give the edge to the Bengals here because of the experience at quarterback. Could be under a lot of duress given the condition of the offensive line, but I think the Bengals have enough veterans on the team to pull out a game like this. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game, but I think the Bengals will win.
All right, Oz.
I'm sorry, I've just read too much Mike Goodpaster this week to believe that the Bengals have a chance in this game. They might actually be as bad as they looked in that 20-0 game. The offensive line, as Mr. Goodpaster has been telling us, really is terrible. And I think any problems that Deshaun Watson may have had probably stem from, surprise, you got to go in the middle of this game. I think if you give him a week to make an actual coherent game plan for him and his unique talents, I think he could do something. I'm going to take the Texans, and I'm definitely going to take the Texans plus the 5.
All right. The thing is this, Oz. You got a rookie quarterback, and he doesn't have a week to prepare. He's got a couple days, maybe a practice in there, maybe 2.
Right. Okay.
And I'll tell you, Houston's offensive line, nobody said it. They gave up 10 sacks to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And also, nobody said this. Last week on this show, there was a guy that picked Jacksonville, and then there was another guy from California, a liberal asshole, who made fun of him for it. Nobody
asshole?
for it.
an
I
asshole.
was
That was an asshole move. I mean, you made fun of him like he was, like you guys were in third grade and you'd stole his lunch money.
I did not make fun of him. I want to say, look, it was a great pick by Brian. Look, the thing is, the Jaguars' defense is what we thought it was going to be this year. Great game by them. And I want to say this, that the Jacksonville Jaguar fans, all 47 of them, should thank me for removing my stink from this team and my predicting them.
Okay, which is why I'm going to pick the Bengals, because you removed your stink from the Jaguars and you put it on the Texans.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, so you're feeling good about your Bengals this week, Mike.
No, I'm not. I'm not feeling good about the Bengals, but at least they're not the 49ers or the Rams, even though the Rams won.
Hey, we scored more points than you did.
Yeah, you gave up more points than we did.
They won the baseball game against you guys 3-0.
Right.
Yeah, but when you take away the 3 extra they gave up. All right, the next game, Buffalo at Carolina. Matt?
Buffalo at Carolina. Well, I do think Buffalo is maybe not as bad as we thought, but then again, they were playing the Jets.
Yeah, no, they won by 9.
They look like, yeah.
Of course, they're as bad as we thought.
Tyrod Taylor does look pretty good. LaShawn McCoy is good. They have somewhat of an offense. Defensively, I don't think they've got a lot there. But Carolina seems to be they're not great either. A couple of missed opportunities, and Niners could have been in that game.
Oh God, really? It was 23-3. Just pick the game.
You don't even know anything. You didn't watch it.
Hell no, I didn't watch it. Why would anybody watch San Francisco play anybody?
They didn't run all over them. They averaged
all
like
of a sudden it's 1990 and the Panthers didn't even exist then.
Hey, I'm making my picks here.
No, you're not. You're trying to prop up your 49ers, and they're really close.
I'm not propping anything up.
Loss.
I'm bringing the Panthers down. I'm not propping up the Niners.
23-3. The only thing that brings the Panthers down is the fact that they could only beat the 49ers.
Close your mouth, Bengals fan. Close your mouth.
Yeah.
The Panthers did not rush
my team.
I'm not making excuses. I'm saying the Panthers did not
if we'd have made 2 plays,
game.
Every game played in the NFL, you could make the comment, well, if you change a couple plays, the game would be different.
I'm not saying that.
But the problem is,
I'm just saying the Panthers did not. I'm saying Cam Newton threw, 1 touchdown. He didn't light him up. I'm saying I'm not sure how great that offense really is right now. That's all I'm saying. Defensively, they're probably pretty good. Well, it could have been. But all I'm saying is that will you be quiet? The Panthers, statistically, I don't think are a very dominating offense. I don't think the Buffalo Bills are real great on defense. So I'm going to give the Panthers an edge on this game, but not by much. I'm going to pick Carolina.
All right.
I know you're bitter, Mike.
I'm going to pick Carolina. I think it's going to be by at least 2 touchdowns. Brian?
I'm going to pick Carolina as well.
All right. Oz?
Yeah, the Bills get a touchdown, according to the point spread, which is similar to the South Carolina game. So I think Carolina is being just as underrated in this game. Look, the Bills were 9.5-point favorite against the Jets, who probably now are thought to be the 31st best team in the NFL before the Colts only, and they couldn't even cover that. So I don't think if you give them a touchdown at Carolina, who may be a mediocre team, may be a classic 7-8-1 Panthers team, they're still a touchdown better than Buffalo easy at home. Carolina, minus the point.
Next game, Chicago at Tampa Bay. I'll go first on this. I'm going to take the Bucks. I think it might be closer than people think, but that's about all I got to say about that. Oz, Chicago at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game either. I just say that Tampa Bay is probably a better team, and that's pretty much it. I like the way Chicago played frisky against Atlanta, but, again, I just think the Buccaneers have more talent. I don't know because I don't know for sure. But, yeah, I'll take Tampa Bay. I'll take Tampa Bay minus the 6.5 as well.
All right, Oz. Or you're Oz. Brian.
Yeah, I'll say it again if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I think they're just slightly better than Chicago, and I thought Chicago played well against Atlanta. So I think this is maybe going to be a little better team than But again, it's only week one, and, things may fall out. But at least through week one, I mean, they played a little bit better than I thought they would. But I think Tampa is just gonna be a better team and win this game.
All right, Matt.
Well, I think the Bears' defense is slightly underrated. I don't think it's real good, but they held their own last week. I think they've got a dual running threat. But Tampa Bay, as long as they're not overly rusty from not having played, they should be able to win this by at least 10 points. But you just don't know. Who knows? I mean, for them, it's week one.
So you're picking Chicago?
I'm picking Tampa Bay. But
all right, that's so tricky.
And it could be a close game.
Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Pittsburgh Steelers, Brian.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh, but I won't be surprised if Minnesota wins this game.
All right, Oz.
Okay, now look, Mike, I want you to listen carefully to what I'm about to say. Because even though I'm gonna talk a little bit of trash about Brian's team, I am not going to actually insult the man personally. Okay,
like you did last week. So you admit it.
Exactly.
You admit that you insulted Brian last week.
No. I admit that you distort what I say because your memory is about.
Are you going to pick this game, or are you just going to go on?
Sorry, 2,600. Okay, I just wanted to say this. Look. Yeah, Pittsburgh had a 3-point win against Cleveland that required 10 sacks plus a couple of dominating performances by Antonio Brown on one side and T.J. Watt on the other side, and still they might have lost if Kenny Britt could catch a ball in the open field, as L.A. Rams fans know that he can't. I love these Vikings. I think the Vikings are going to win this game outright, and I'll definitely take them plus the 6 at Pittsburgh.
All right, Matt.
No, I don't like the Vikings in this game to win. I do think the Vikings played fantastic last night. No question about it. But I think it's important to realize this was the Saints' defense. Pittsburgh's defense is better, and it's at home. Pittsburgh is going to play a lot better than they did last week on the road. Expect Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown to be their usual self, and the real problem for them is going to be Martavis Bryant. I think he scores 2 touchdowns. And the Steelers are going to win this game. They're going to look a lot better.
All right. I disagree with Matt. I really like Minnesota. I think Minnesota has maybe the best defense in football. And I think they can deal with pretty much anything anybody gives them. So I don't think the Steelers are going to score a lot of points on them. I think Dalvin Cook is a hell of a running back. And more importantly, I think Mike Zimmer is a hell of a football coach. I'm going to go with Minnesota. And right now, it wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota's in the Super Bowl at the end of the year. How about that?
Mm-hmm. No, I was thinking about that, and then I backed off right before we did the Pick'em show before the beginning of the season. And
well,
now
it's only been 1 week, so I'm not saying that. But I really, from what I saw, I really like Minnesota, and another team I really like is Philadelphia.
Yep. Billy and Wentz look really sharp.
I like Minnesota more than Philadelphia, but I think we just got to dial it back until if they do this again this week, I'll definitely be on the bandwagon.
Well, my thing is this, Matt. Last year, through 5 or 6 games, they were 5-0. They had the best defense in football, and then they had a ton of injuries, especially on the offensive line.
Yep.
And that offensive line was giving Mr. Number 1 overall pick and supposed former burnout Sam Bradford, they were giving him 3.5, 4 seconds to throw. You give him that much time, you give any quarterback that much time, he'll be good.
And Sam Bradford is a good quarterback. It's just Sam Bradford gets hurt a lot.
Sure.
Right.
And if you look at him last year, everybody rips on Bradford because he threw so many short passes. He had to because he wasn't going to have time to do anything else.
I can't see him going downfield like that against Pittsburgh this time. I got to see that to believe it. I just don't. I think that was just more of the Saints' defense.
Okay, but I don't think the Steelers' defense is that great either, man.
It's a lot better than New Orleans.
Everybody's defense is better than New Orleans.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they don't need a lot of step up to be way better than New Orleans.
Well, Brian, I mean, can the Pittsburgh secondary handle Bradford going downfield?
Yeah, they can handle it.
I think the bigger question there, Brian, is whether they can get a pass rush on him.
Well, that's going to be the key. They've got to be able to get a pass rush. If they get a pass rush, they can handle it. If they don't get a pass rush, now it changes everything. Although I will say that Hayden played pretty well. He was the one guy in the secondary that actually I felt really played pretty decently.
He's a good corner.
All right. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals, coached by Bruce Arians, against the Indianapolis Colts, who for the next couple of weeks will be coached by Chuck Pagano. Brian, I just went to Brian. Oz, Arizona, Indy.
Well, I mean, like I said before, Indianapolis is probably about the 31st or 32nd best team in the league. I think even with David Johnson out and, you know, a quarterback that looks like he comes from ancient Egypt, I think that the Arizona is still about a touchdown better. Now they're favored by 7.5 points. I'll take Arizona minus the points at Indianapolis, but I won't feel good about taking Arizona for much longer.
All right. Is Jacoby Brissett getting the start yet?
Don't know, but apparently Indianapolis is happy with Tolzien, who's obviously much better than Colin Kaepernick.
All right. Then you answered my Scott Tolzien and much better than Brian Schmidt. And I'm talking about present-day Brian Schmidt.
I don't know. I think I still could take him, but no, I'm going to agree and go with Arizona. Although if it was anybody else, I may not make that pick. But Indianapolis is just bad. That's a train wreck.
All right,
Matt Andruscavage.
Yes, that is the pretty much the phrase I would use. Total train wreck. I think even without David Johnson, I think they've got enough of a ground game. Arians is a good coach. They got enough on that defense, and there's Larry Fitzgerald, J.J. Nelson, John Brown. There's enough receivers out there. I think that Arizona can muster sufficient offense to score more points than Indianapolis. Will Indianapolis even get six or 10 points in this game?
I think the final score will be 6-3 Arizona. But is the over-under on this game more than 10 on mybookie.ag there, Oz?
That one I don't know. I expect it's probably about 18.5. All
right. Next game, Matt. Cleveland at Baltimore.
Cleveland at Baltimore. Oh. Well, I thought Cleveland did play pretty well against Pittsburgh. I was expecting Pittsburgh to just turn it on, and they really never did. They got enough to win the game, but Cleveland hung in there. Baltimore, they outplayed the Bengals, no question, but getting 4 turnovers, maybe it was 5, but on those batted passes, that certainly can help. I think I'm going to go Baltimore, but wouldn't be surprised if this was a game like last week's Cleveland-Pittsburgh game.
All right, Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baltimore, but Cleveland did play really well watching that game. It wasn't as much of what Pittsburgh didn't do, although there was plenty of things they didn't do, but it wasn't as much that they didn't do as what Cleveland did. But at the same time, Baltimore, I think, is still a better team. And I think Baltimore will win this game, but I think it'll be close.
All right, Oz, we know you're picking Cleveland, right?
Well, yeah, I'm definitely taking Cleveland plus 7.5 points. Look, again, like I say, Cleveland took 10 sacks.
Are you taking Cleveland to win the game straight up?
Yes, I think I am. I think I will. I think it's time for a little paradigm shift. I think it's time to stop picking teams like the Panthers and the Ravens out of habit. Really, I think.
But you picked the Panthers over the Bills.
The Bills. Come on. I love what Kaiser does in Cleveland. I think he's going to be swell. Hopefully, Isaiah Crowell gets more than 3 yards per carry this week because they really don't have much of a run game outside of him and Kaiser, improvising. So, but I like Cleveland, and I'm not that impressed with Baltimore. I mean, 20-0 against a nothing team is exhibition game as far as I'm concerned.
You would know about nothing teams being a Rams fan.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, last year we lost 28-zip, and this year we did not. So, but that's another game. I'm taking Cleveland in this game.
All right, Matt. The New Orleans Saints host the New England Patriots.
New Orleans is better at home, but I think this is going to be similar to when the Chiefs beat New England in 2014 and everybody thought it was over. New England's going to come in, they're going to thrash New Orleans. I think you're going to see Gronk get open. You know, Eric Berry is a heck of a defender, and that was a big reason why Gronk was not able to see a lot of open field. I think he's going to be wide open. New England's just going to be New England and play a lot better. I think they win this game rather easily.
All right. I think New Orleans is going to win this game. I think New England has no pass rush. Their secondary is vulnerable. They're playing in New Orleans in the Superdome. I'm going to go with Drew Brees here. Brian?
I want to agree with you, Mike. I can't because the problem for me in this is New England losing that game. The one thing history has shown is when they do lose, which is rare in the regular season, but when they do lose, they come back a better football team and more focused, more pissed off. And I don't think New Orleans will have enough to be able to deal with that. Although I earlier today when I looked at this game, there was really a part of me that wanted to pick New Orleans because it's at home, but I just think New England's a better, going to show to be a better team in this one.
All right, Mr. Davis.
Well, I would really like to take the Saints in this one. I would definitely take the Saints plus 6.5 points. That's outrageous given what the Patriots showed. And as Mike pointed out, they have no pass rush. Look, they were desperate enough to put Donta Hightower in that spot in this game, and guess what? He left injured, and I think he's out for the season, is he not? I think he's gone for the whole season. He's gone for a good long. I think so. He's gone for a good long time anyway. In any case, yeah, they got nothing for a pass rush here. So I will take the Patriots to win this game. I think the Saints cover. I think the Patriots don't lose 2 in a row, but I am looking forward to picking against the Patriots 3 or 4 times in the next 5 weeks.
All right, the next game, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll start this one off. The Chiefs are at home. This is a tough game because I really like Philadelphia. I'm going to go with Philadelphia to win 2 in a row on the road. Brian, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Kansas City. I think Kansas City really looked good, and it's just really hard to go against them at this time. I'll go with Kansas City at home.
Oz?
Let's see. All right. Well, I mean, I like the way that the Eagles played. I like the way Wentz looked last time. I know that last year this defense ranked 4th in DVOA. It was number 1 in DVOA in special teams. So these are both pretty impressive. And they didn't tinker too much in the off season. I think I'll take the Eagles to win outright, and I'll definitely take them plus the 4.5.
All right, Matt.
I like the Eagles more and more. I don't know if I like them as much as Mike does, but I'm starting to understand why people are liking them. They do play well. But Kansas City at home, after what they did, with 3 days extra rest, I think they'll win the game. I think Philly puts up a good fight, but I'm going to go Kansas City.
All right, Matt. Tennessee at Jacksonville.
Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville was impressive, I have to say. I didn't see them scoring that many points on the road against Houston, given Houston's defense. I thought they played well overall. Tennessee, I really like that Raider Titans game this past week. I'm going to go Tennessee to win the game, get to 1-1, kind of tie everything up in the division. They're a better team. But I got to say, the Jaguars' defense was inspired.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. As good as Jacksonville looked, which I can't say they looked good. They looked okay, but Houston just got awful. But I think Tennessee is a good football team, and I just think Oakland was, really impressive. One of the few teams that was really impressive in Week 1. I think Tennessee is a pretty good team, and I think they'll win this game.
All right, Oz.
Yeah, wow. I'm really torn about the Jaguars now after that game. I mean, because, again, this is the defense that they have been building over the past few years, and this is kind of the defense that we expected last year. We finally get it this year.
No, you expected. Go ahead, Oz.
Yeah, well, I mean, those who follow crazily like I do. Fournette looked really good. Fournette looked really good in this game. And, Mr. Bortles looked good. But here's the thing, and as I was watching this, I was thinking, wow, okay, Bortles looks good, but it's garbage time early. Sure enough, this was the first time he had played with a more than touchdown lead in something like 16 games or something crazy like this. It goes back to early last year when he last had a decent lead. So it might have just been a fluke on the offense. However, this defense is really, really good. So which way do I go here? Did everybody take the Titans so far? Did you take the Titans, Mike?
I haven't.
Are you going Titans? Okay. Well, all right. I'm going to do it. I'll take Jacksonville plus 1.5.
All right.
So does Oz have to pick first the rest of the way then?
Was that? I don't care because I agree with Oz. I'm going with Jacksonville.
Going with Jacksonville. All right.
I'm going with Jacksonville. I think their defense is good. I don't think Tennessee is. I think Tennessee's still a year away. Jacksonville's been a year away for 4 years, so maybe it's their time. The next game, Jets at Raiders. We know Oz has to pick the Jets or he's a coward. Matt, put it like this. Does anybody not think the Raiders are going to win this game?
Well, the question is the score. The question is the score.
I'll say 31-0.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say 27-3 because they'll take guys out in the fourth quarter.
All right.
What do you
so
think?
We're all in agreement on the Raiders. Schmidt, did you want to go ahead and jump on the Jets bandwagon?
No, I'll stay with the Raider bandwagon and be happy.
I'm saying Raiders 42-3. That's what I wrote down. 42-3. 6 touchdowns.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Check out mybookie.ag. We'll be back in a minute.
We'll get back to the podcast in just about a minute here, but first, football season is here, and if you're one of those fans of the NFL, the CFL, or college football who likes to make things interesting on game day, be sure to check out the offerings at mybookie.ag, a sponsor of the Grueling Truth Network. MyBookie reminds you that where you're betting is just as important as what you're betting on. MyBookie.ag offers the full range of point spreads, lines, odds, futures, proposition bets, and parlays on NFL, CFL, and FBS games that you'd find at any proper sportsbook online or off. They've also got the very trendy and exciting in-game live betting options as well. MyBookie offers all first-time players a 100% deposit bonus, thereby doubling your initial bankroll. And MyBookie accepts players from worldwide, including the U.S. and Canada. MyBookie.ag offers 24-hour multilingual customer service and chat, plus a handy app for your mobile device. Best of all about MyBookie.ag, though, is the payout time. MyBookie promises payouts to your account within 2 business days of request. So the next time you're wagering on football, or baseball, or basketball, or soccer, or any major sport, really, check out MyBookie.ag, sponsor of the Grueling Truth. Use promo code CFBPICKS or NFL Picks to get a 100% match bonus on your first deposit. That's promo code CFBPICKS or NFL PICKS. Thank you, and please always play responsibly.
All right, guys, we're back on the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show, Week 2 on the Grueling Truth Radio Network, brought to you by MyBookie.ag. We've got Brian Schmidt, Matt Andruscavage, myself, Mike Goodpaster, and Brian Schmidt. We said Schmitty last because Schmitty was first last week. Brian, Miami at San Diego.
San Diego didn't look good. I mean, they looked okay. They looked great. But it's really hard for me to go against them in this game. I'm going to go with San Diego.
All right. I'm going to agree with Brian. I'm going to go with San Diego. Oz?
Well, being a liberal California asshole, which somebody called me earlier in the show,
what are you talking about?
I just want to say, wow, we are so excited about this first Chargers home game in the soccer field. Not really. I don't know. This game is really tough to get excited about. I mean, I guess the Chargers looked kind of okay, only losing by 3 at Denver. But, I mean, here's Rivers threw for under 200 yards. Melvin Gordon had just 54 yards on 18 carries, and most of that was the 21-yarder in the first quarter. So not a lot of offensive production here. I am not very excited about this game. I'll say, for the sake of argument, that the Chargers win at home, but I think the Dolphins will cover that 4.5.
Okay, if everybody's picked San Diego, how are you going to say it for the sake of argument? Matt?
Yeah, the Chargers should win this game.
Went first.
At home.
You didn't go first. You went third. Go ahead. Matt. Before you were interrupted so
right.
rudely by the liberal California asshole. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Chargers should win this game. I think they got enough offense, and being at home, I think, gives them an edge. So, I mean, it's not going to be pretty or anything like that, but I'll go Chargers.
All right, Matt, it's your turn. San Francisco at Seattle.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Anytime they play a good team this year, it's going to take it's absolute 100% perfect effort to win.
I thought you said they could win 7 or 8 games this year.
Well, yeah, but 8 of those games are also against bad. 8 of those games are against bad teams. 8 of them are against good teams.
Yeah, but there's not 8 teams.
I don't think they can. Well, I think they could win 7 or 8. No, not 8 games. 6 to 7 was the ceiling. But those are against not the good teams like Seattle. They can't go into Seattle and win this game. Seattle's pass rush is going to absolutely bully our guards. One of them's a backup right now, anyways. I mean, they'd have to just. I don't think there's any chance. I'm just hoping they can make enough plays to just kind of make it a game and not completely embarrass themselves.
Maybe they could get a touchdown this week. Brian.
That would be nice.
Wait, who are we picking? You lost me.
I don't know. Oh, Matt's 49ers against Seattle.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to go with Seattle.
All right, Oz, do you want to be a contrarian again?
Oh, no, of course not. I wanted to be contrarian to some dude at thegruelingtruth.net from one of those flyover states that nobody cares about, who thinks that the Seahawks have no chance at the Super Bowl at all this year. I beg to differ. The Seahawks are going to win this game. They're going to win big, and they're going to continue winning.
The Super Bowl.
Oh, they're going to win a good 12 games this year. They won 11 games last year.
12
They
games.
won 11 after scoring 12 points in the opener.
Okay. Not the same team. All right, I'm picking Seattle too. Next, Dallas at Denver, Brian.
Oh, yes, this one's going to be Dallas. I think Denver, again, didn't play bad, but Dallas played pretty well. Dallas is going to be a good team this year, so they stay healthy.
All right, Oz?
I like Dallas. I like Dallas minus the points. Zeke is going to play, right? That suspension is stalled, right? They're going to let him play in week 2, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right. I like the Cowboys. I love what Dak did. I love how he was picking and choosing his receivers. As soon as he manages to find Dez, that team's going to be unstoppable.
Matt?
Yeah, Dallas with Zeke it's pretty much they're pretty much an elite team. That offensive line is fantastic. When they get the thing about Dak Prescott is he plays almost effortless. He makes very quick reads. He's got great feet. Makes really quick throws, and they got good receivers over there. The defense is pretty good. I like Jalen Schmidt over there in that linebacker core. Sean Lee, as long as he can stay healthy. Their secondary is okay, but I think they have enough on that team to really cause problems for other teams. So I don't think they're really going to have a lot of trouble in Denver. I think they'll win.
Yeah, I think they could have trouble just because Denver's defense is really good. And I do like Trevor Siemian, which I don't think anybody else does. But I'm going to go with Dallas, okay. But I think it could be closer than people think. The next game, the Washington Redskins at the L.A. Rams. Oz?
Woo! Can we really win 2 in a row? Sure, I'll take the Rams. Washington looked really unimpressive, I thought, last week. And I got to say, the Rams have been winning the NFC West for the whole 2017 season so far. I think they're going to keep it up.
All right, Brian?
I'm going to go with Washington. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the Rams bandwagon quite yet.
Now, careful. I'm on it, Brian, so you'll never get on.
I understand that, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly willing to not get on that bandwagon, but yeah, I'm going to go with Washington. I think Washington will step up and play well.
All right, I'm going to agree with Oz, which I've done way too much tonight.
Yeah, you sure have.
Way behind by the time this week's over, but I'm going with the Rams. The Redskins, I think, are a mess. I don't think that they covered for what they lost for receivers last year. They still got Reed at tight end, who's one of the best, maybe the best tight end outside of Gronk in the league. I think the Rams are going to win this game because I think the Redskins have some problems. And I also think I think Jay Gruden will be fired by the time the year is over. Matt Andruscavage.
Wow. I thought I was going to be the only one. I think the Rams are going to win. I do not like the Redskins defense at all. I think Jay Gruden is also going to get fired, like you said. I think Kirk Cousins is not playing well. He does not look like the same guy from 2015 that lit up the league at all.
He wants to be a 49er.
I don't want him.
Yep. Yeah, you do. He's better than Brian Hoyer or whatever your quarterback's name is.
No, I don't want him. I think they're going to pay way too much money for him. I don't think he really brings us that much.
I hope so.
I don't want Kirk Cousins. I think I'd rather lose and get a rookie. I'd rather lose and get a guy like Sam Darnold. But
you can't have Sam Darnold.
But I like the Rams in this because I think Todd Gurley is going to be a real problem for that defense to stop. Cooper Kupp actually looks pretty good. I didn't think that was going to happen. And Sammy Watkins, if he can stay healthy, that's a decent receiving core they can give quarterbacks some time. So I like the Rams' defense in this game too. I don't think Kirk Cousins is playing well, and the coach. I think the whole thing's a mess. So I'm going to go Rams.
All right, the next one, the Green Bay Packers at the Atlanta Falcons. Since Matt's a Packer fan, we'll go with Matt first.
He is. I got to say the Packers defense played well. I had the score that I had predicted in that game was 21-17 Seattle. I think if that pick six had stood, it might have happened that way. But Green Bay's defense deserves a lot of credit in that game for being able to stop Seattle. But I think they're going to have their hands full a little bit more with the Falcons. Falcons will be at home, opening a new stadium. I think they're going to be able to get a lot more offense. I don't think Green Bay's defense is as good as it showed against Seattle. I think it was just one of those things where they stepped up. And I think Atlanta is going to be able to stop Green Bay. Green Bay really can't run the ball. I give Ty Montgomery some credit where he was able to get some first downs in short yardage, but I think if they can get him into third and long, There's odds they can get him off the field. But I think this is probably going to be somewhat of a high-scoring affair. I think Atlanta will score more points, so I'll take the Falcons.
All right, Oz.
I like Atlanta. These are two teams that basically stayed pat in the off season, and I like what Atlanta did. Yeah, they had to shrug off the pesky Chicago Bears, but I think this team's going to go far. I'm ready to get back on the Falcons bandwagon too. Not so impressed with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, like I said, I really only felt like they had two successful drives in that entire game. They did get shut out in the entire first half, this offense, and it's almost as though they're running this thing in slow motion. I just don't get it. So I'm definitely going to take Atlanta. I'll even take Atlanta minus the 2.5. I think they're more than a field goal better than Green Bay.
All right, Brian.
Yeah, I'll take Atlanta. I just think they're, the class of the NFC right now. I like what I see. So
they could be.
Green Bay is just. Green Bay is going to go as far as they can because of who their quarterback is, but I just don't think they have enough pieces to be a Super Bowl team.
All right. Well, I like the Green Bay Packers here, but no, I'm really kidding. I'm going to go with Atlanta also, but I really think this is going to be a close game. And it really wouldn't shock me if Green Bay wins it because I think with Atlanta, I think you saw the first week, there is a Super Bowl hangover. I know Coop last week said there wasn't, but, I mean, we've interviewed like 10 or 15 guys since that game that I've talked to off air. Is there? Every one of them said yeah. So.
Okay, so do the Patriots have the Super Bowl hangover? Because that's what it looks like to me. They went out and celebrated this trophy and whatnot. And then they go out there and they think they can just go through the motions.
Yeah, but I think it's also like only the second time since they've been doing that game that the team that celebrated a trophy lost game one. And I think the biggest problem there was, I mean, they just didn't block and tackle very well.
Yeah.
I mean, and really, they go to the Super Bowl, it seems like every year, at least a championship game. So it's a lot older team, and New England came from behind. They didn't give the game up. Atlanta's there. They're up 28-3, and they're 17 minutes away from that game being in Atlanta. And it was taken away from them. And it was taken away from them because they have an incompetent coach in Kyle Shanahan, which is why the 49ers are never going to turn shit around.
Whatever. Says the guy who has Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, well, I'm the one that rips Marvin Lewis. You're the one that thinks the man who did the worst coaching job.
Dan Quinn had every much authority in that game. It was a joint approach.
It was a joint approach.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl.
They got together.
So Dan Quinn was approving the plays.
Yeah. Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan. Dan Quinn could have overridden those plays if he didn't want to run them. He did what he did all year.
Wait a second. That's a cop-out because we're talking about Kyle Shanahan. We're not talking about what a dumbass Dan Quinn was for letting it happen. I mean, Kyle Shanahan is the one that wanted to call those plays, and they weren't turned. The play calling in that game was horrible.
I agree with you. I
don't know why you think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. Kyle Shanahan's daddy was a coach in the NFL. It's a nepotism football league. You got to be related, or you got to know somebody. Yeah, that's how it goes, and that's why you get so many bad coaches. And I'm sorry, but Kyle Shanahan in his biggest moment screwed it up. Say what you want about Marvin Lewis, but when he was the defensive coordinator in Super Bowl, he didn't lose a damn game. They'd have put him in charge and made him head coach, he would have, but they didn't. He was the defensive coordinator.
He's been a head coach 1 week. It's a little
when you're up 25 points and you're throwing the ball and you're snapping the ball with 20 seconds left on the play clock, you're an idiot. I mean,
I can't argue with that game.
Huh?
I can't argue with that game. He made a lot of mistakes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is this: if I'm the 49ers, I don't hire him because of that game. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure that most 14-year-olds playing Madden know to run the clock out.
Yeah. I thought they were going to run the clock.
Because you're the closest thing we got to a 14-year-old playing Madden here.
Yeah, playing Madden. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, a guy whose virtues you extol so much, Andy Reid, does this habitually. I don't think he knows that football has a clock.
Actually, I hate to tell you this, but Matt can.
I think he thinks it's
I don't like Andy Reid, but.
Well, somebody.
But every year when I say I don't like him and his team's going to suck, they always make the playoffs. So I may be wrong.
Right,
with this
exactly. They in defense of Coop, who's not here, I just wanted and just strictly talking about the present, I just wanted to say this right now. Okay, who looked better last week, the Patriots or the Falcons?
I don't think either one looked good. I think the Chicago Bears are a bad football team.
I don't understand. Well, okay. See, I don't think they're that bad. I don't understand.
I do. Well, why are they not that bad? They've got no quarterback. I mean, come on, Mike Glennon. Their offensive line is good from guard to guard. Their tackles are not very good. They don't have any weapons. They've lost, two of their best receivers to injury.
So,
but the Bears are not a good football team.
In a league where almost 70% of the games are divided by 8 points or fewer, I mean, what do you want them to do in week 1? I mean, blow them out? I mean,
this is the point, though. The Atlanta Falcons from last year, that's not a game. I'm just telling you, I don't think the Bears are very good. And, usually when a team that's really good plays a team that's not very good, they usually win the game a hell of a lot easier than that.
Well, it says here that the Falcons are 1-0. They're in first place in a division that's way tougher than the AFC East, and the Patriots are 0-1. That's what it says here.
What's your point?
I mean, well, I just,
if I win the Super Bowl, I don't give a shit if I got a hangover or not because I already got a ring, so I'm not that worried about it.
Really?
It's a little different when you don't have a ring, you haven't won a ring, and then the 49ers head coach blew the game for you.
Right, and you know all about what it's like to not win a ring.
Who said that? Matt, have you ever won a ring?
I sure did.
You did?
No, but you know all about what it's like to watch a team that's never won a ring.
Send me a picture of it.
You are the expert. I never said I won a ring.
I can't win a ring with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're a freaking football team that I have nothing to do with.
But you know all about what it's like to cheer for a team that's not won a ring. So you are the expert. I agree with you.
Okay. As long as you agree with me and you agree that I'm right, I'm good with that. All I know is Oz is probably getting tired of your condescending tone because your team won a Super Bowl, 40 years ago?
Condescending tone?
1994, 2004, 2014. This is how we do math in Indiana. That's 23 years ago.
Well, that's right. You don't have to do math in Indiana when you don't never win a ring.
23 years ago.
0
23 years
for you.
Ago. 23 years ago.
60. I think it's 60 for you.
It can't be because the team's only been around for 50.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, 50 then. Yeah. Okay. Well, at least you can do that math.
We'll just agree that I'm right, and we'll go from there. Next game, Detroit at the Giants.
I don't understand what you're right about.
Neither do I, but as long as we finish with I'm right, I'm good with it. Detroit at the Giants, Brian.
I'm going to go with Detroit. Just Giants were just very unimpressive, and I really think that I think Detroit's a decent team. I think they can win this game.
All right, Matt.
Eli just don't look very good. They can't run the ball. I think they've got problems on the offensive line. The defense can only do so much. Detroit, I don't think Detroit's super good, but if they can get anything out of Amir Abdullah, that offense is going to be a lot better. And Galladay looked really good. I think he was kind of one of the up-and-comers, guys to look at this year. He looked really good. Matthew Stafford's playing pretty well. Now, granted, it's 1 week. It was just Arizona. But I think Detroit's going to win this game. I'll pick them.
All righty, Oz.
Yeah, Detroit may not be that good, but I'll tell you who's that good. Matthew Stafford is that good. I mean, they won 8? They were 8-1 in games decided in the fourth quarter last season, and they were 2 games above their Pythagorean expectation last year. And people want to attribute this to luck, but maybe, not Andrew Luck, but just fortune. So I don't suppose that it has anything to do with Matthew Stafford. It just might. He's probably a very good quarterback. I'll definitely take the Lions to win this game. Mike, do you know what the line is on this? I don't have the line for this one.
Last time I saw, I didn't look, but there was no line the last time I checked, actually, which would have been late last night.
I would take the Lions minus up to anything up to about a touchdown. I think this is a decent team.
I think they're a good team, too. You got to remember this. The Giants will have Odell Beckham back, I'd assume, won't they?
Yeah, well, that would be good because Eli apparently can't throw downfield unless it's to Beckham.
Well, Eli can't throw downfield because when we talked about the Bengals and Seahawks lines, the Giants line's just as bad as theirs.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, this is a bottom three line. Yeah,
those are the bottom three lines that I've seen so far, too. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I think people forget this. Until the injury to Matthew Stafford, what was his finger last year? And I don't think people understand with a quarterback how important the finger that he injured was. Up until that point, he may have been the leader in the clubhouse at, week 12 for the MVP. They were sitting as like a number 1 or 2 seed. I think the number 2 seed at the time of his injury. And without that injury, I think they win that division and would have been hosting a divisional playoff game.
Yeah. What did they start, like
anybody
7-1
that thinks he's not worth the money, look at their running game, look at what they got around him, and then shut up. Because there's hardly any other quarterback that could do that with what he had around him. Oz, you're supposed to say something there since I cut you off.
Yes, sir. Jawohl. I agree with you 100%.
The hell is that?
Amir Abdullah. Wow.
Jawohl? Was that some shit from Hogan's Heroes or something?
That was Steve Hogan's. Oh, my God. We've gone back.
Was it Hogan's Heroes? All right.
Yeah.
And since you're a liberal asshole from California, that Der Fuhrer thing was probably directed at Donald Trump, wasn't it?
I don't know if I should be impressed by that or scared.
You should be impressively scared. I mean, I buy what you say. When Amir Abdullah is your first option in the running game, and that's the best option you've had for 2 or 3 years, it's pretty impressive that you're putting together these fourth quarter comebacks when there is no play action in your playbook. I mean, again, Stafford is a good quarterback, and everybody's talking about how the Packers are going to be good for 7-8 wins automatically just based on Rodgers. Well, geez, I mean, here's a guy who's been proving that he's worth 7-8 wins a year for the last 3 years, and I think he's going to do it again this year too. If the Lions can win a couple of lucky games, if they can do the +2 Pythagorean again this year, they'll be in the playoffs. There's a lot of teams in the NFC.
Is the Pythagorean a Muslim?
So no. Pythagorean expectation, it's labeled that it's a stat, but it's
you're already over his head.
It's a
all
stat.
Right, it's a stat. That's a good enough answer for me.
Okay. If that's
I'm
what
having
you want,
a feeling that this might be a boring explanation.
No. I can explain it very concisely, right?
But I bet it'll still be boring. Go ahead.
All it is this.
He's already bored, Oz.
Come on, short attention span. There's nothing I can do about this. What are you, a millennial? Okay.
Those are off. I'm just old.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Alzheimer's victim. Okay. So in any case, what you do is you take the point scored and you take the point scored against, and then you consider the average of the league. And from that, you can determine how many wins you should have gotten that season, right? So in other words,
wouldn't it be easier just to wait and see what your record is?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, because Pythagorean expectation is about how many lucky bounces you get. So, in other words, the expectation says by the numbers, the Lions should have only won about 8 games last year. And the outcome was better for them, which means that, one way to look at this is they got the lucky bounces. They won 2 games based on fortune, right? Or you could say, well, maybe Stafford was the difference. That's what the Pythagorean expectation is about.
Are you done?
Well, yeah,
hey, Mike,
that was a good concluding line, wasn't it, Mike? Jeez.
Mike, can I say something?
Sure.
I talked to 2 English teachers this week, and it is formidable. Just thought I'd throw that in.
It's formidable. It's only formidable if you're English.
No, it is formidable. What I was saying.
No, it's formidable. It's formidable.
That. I was wrong on that one too. That's one of the few things
it's formidable. It's formidable. Formidable just sounds stupid. It sounds like something a soccer player would say. It sounds like something a soccer player would say. It's formidable.
Stupid.
Yeah, well. It's unforgivable
being wrong.
to say formidable.
But anyway, I wanted to throw
Could
that
be
in.
correct.
Oz has got to interrupt you every show, doesn't he, Brian?
You know how he is.
I remember last year when you almost beat his ass through the phone. That was good. All right. Was that on the CFL show or the NFL show?
That was on the NFL show.
I think that was
the NFL. I remember that.
All right. Brian, any final thoughts?
I would have until Oz's mind-numbing explanation on whatever the hell he was talking about. So. I have no final thoughts because I'm done.
All right, Matt, any thoughts on the Pagaria way, whatever it was?
Oh man, I like numbers too. I mean, I the way I like to do my baseball power rankings, but geez, Oz, really?
Dude, look up Pythagorean expectation. It works especially.
I don't have to. I don't ever want to.
Really?
Yeah, because number one, to look it up, Matt would have to know how to spell it. He lives in Wisconsin, so.
That's right. I got a lot working against me. It's amazing that I'm on this show.
I'm surprised you have never heard of it because in baseball, it's a very big deal. It works really well in baseball because there's so many games being played.
All right, Oz, do you have any final comments? God help us.
A squared plus B squared.
In the words of the late, great comedian Rodney Dangerfield, man, I get no respect on this show. No respect at all.
Nobody gets respect on this show.
Well,
Nobody.
this is true.
Not Coop. Okay. Nobody.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. Yeah. You're right.
We don't respect Mike. He doesn't respect us. This is a show of no respect.
You don't respect me?
No, nobody respects anybody.
No.
We try.
I respect Brian. Brian respects me.
We try.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Brian?
There you go.
See? So you get what you earn, which is the Pythagorean complex or some shit.
I got to calculate our respect ratio.
Yeah, well, negative 27
well, mine's
for Oz after
mine's
Pythagorean, whatever it is.
over squat. That's
all right, guys. Oz lost his final thought then because I gave him a chance, but he ignored it. Oz, do you have a final thought?
No, that was my final thought. Now, I get no respect. I try and bring my A game every week, and you guys are just not impressed. But I tell you what, I bet the listening audience loves me.
Yeah, I bet.
Don't bet your house on that, Oz. Don't bet your house.
I won't. I'll take Cleveland plus the points instead.
All right, guys, we're going to go wrap it up. We'll be back next week. Coop will be back with us. I want to remind you all to check out our College Football Weekly Pick'em show with myself, Brian Schmidt, no Oz Davis on that show, so you guys might want to check that one out because we just talk about football and none of that gay stuff like he talks about from California. We also had Bill Searcy, former Alabama Crimson Tide, two-time national champion under Bear Bryant. Me and Brian and Oz, you doing the CFL Weekly Pick'em show tomorrow?
No, I'm doing Rouge, White, and Blue CFL podcast tomorrow with Joe.
I don't know what that's got to do with the Pick'em show at 5 hours difference.
We pick them.
Right.
We pick them on that show.
Yeah, all right. But we get the CFL Weekly Pick'em show with four-time Grey Cup winner Robert Drummond. Make sure you check that out. Matt, you and Dexter will be back with the San Francisco 49ers show this week.
Yes, we will.
All right. I guess there's no guest.
No, just for this week, it'll just be him and I.
Okay. I was looking for a better answer, but Matt looked unprepared. What do you think, Oz?
No.
What do I
think
about what? Matt's show is great. Worth
But you can check out
if you care about San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it is worth listening to if you care about the San Francisco 49ers. I know, right. I said that. Me and Joe Kelly will do a Cincinnati Bengals show tomorrow night, which you can hear us bitch and complain about the coaching staff, the players, and generally life itself.
Like the 49ers show.
I can't disagree with that.
The 49ers just completely suck. All right, guys, make sure you can download our app to get all of our shows on iTunes. You can check all the shows out on iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher. Anywhere you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. Make sure you guys check out mybookie.ag. Oz is on there day and night.
Yeah, constantly. I don't have enough money to lose. So.
This Oz doesn't even have a job. He's a professional gambler.
Right. Absolutely.
So is your neighbor.
Yeah, my neighbor is too. He bets all the time. I don't believe in that. I think it's against the Bible. But if I was going to bet, though, I would go to mybookie.ag like my neighbor Wink Wink does all the time. My neighbor did really well last week on Kentucky or on South Carolina and Missouri, and he's hoping to do really well in Kentucky and South Carolina this week.
South Carolina, you bet. He is going to do well.
So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So, for Matt Andruscavage, Brian Schmidt, Oz Davis, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.